The Whispering Shadows. The small town of Black Hollow was known for its perpetual mist, which blanketed the cobblestone streets like an eternal secret. Nestled at the edge of the forest stood an old manor, abandoned for decades. Locals whispered of strange happenings there, lights flickering in empty windows, shadows moving where none should exist. Children dared one another to approach its rusted gates, but few ever crossed the threshold. Those who did came back pale, trembling, and unwilling to speak of what they had seen. For years, no one dared to enter until Emma Vance arrived. A journalist with a knack for uncovering the truth, Emma was drawn to the manor's eerie legend. Her career had been built on unraveling mysteries, and the allure of Black Hollow's sinister reputation was too tempting to resist. Armed with her notebook, a flashlight, and a camera, she ventured to the house on a moonless night, determined to discover what lay within. The iron gates groaned as she pushed them open, their rusted hinges echoing in the still night. The path leading to the manor was overgrown, the gravel obscured by moss and tangled roots. The house loomed before her, its gabled roof and shattered windows silhouetted against the dark sky. The air seemed heavier here, pressing against her chest with an almost tangible weight. The door creaked open with an unsettling ease, as if inviting her in. The air inside was thick with dampness and decay. Dust danced in the beam of her flashlight as she explored the grand but dilapidated foyer. A massive chandelier hung precariously from the ceiling, its crystals dulled by time. Portraits lined the walls, their subjects' faces obscured by grime and cobwebs. The silence was oppressive, broken only by the occasional creak of the floorboards beneath her feet. As Emma climbed the winding staircase, she noticed the faint sound of whispers. She paused, straining to hear. It was faint, like a conversation happening just out of reach. The words were indistinct, their tone alternating between pleading and threatening. "Who's there?" she called, her voice echoing into the void. The whispers stopped. Undeterred, she followed the sound to the second floor, where a narrow hallway stretched into darkness. Doors lined the corridor, each slightly ajar. She hesitated before stepping forward, the creaking floorboards betraying her every move. A chill settled over her as she reached the end of the hall where one door stood out. Unlike the others, it was closed, with a rusted padlock hanging loosely from the handle. Her fingers brushed the lock, and it fell away as though it had been waiting for her. Emma pushed the door open, revealing a room that seemed untouched by time. A single candle burned on a wooden desk, its flame casting flickering shadows across the walls. The rest of the room was bare, save for a stack of letters neatly arranged beside the candle. Curious, she picked one up. The handwriting was jagged, almost frantic. "They watch from the shadows. They whisper their truths and lies. Trust no one, not even yourself." A chill ran down her spine as the whispers returned, louder this time, echoing from the walls. She spun around, her flashlight flickering. Shadows danced in the corners, moving independently of the faint candlelight. "Leave," a voice rasped, clear and close. Emma froze, her breath hitching. The shadows began to coalesce, forming a figure, tall and indistinct, its presence suffocating. Stepped forward, and the temperature in the room plummeted. "You wanted the truth," it said, its voice a guttural echo. "Now you cannot escape it." The figure lunged, and the room plunged into darkness. When Emma awoke, she was outside the manor, lying on the overgrown path. Her belongings were scattered around her, and the memory of what had happened inside was fragmented, like pieces of a shattered mirror. Her notebook was missing, and her camera's memory card was inexplicably empty. Back in town, no one believed her story. Locals dismissed her as just another outsider who had let the manor's aura of fear get the better of her. But as she packed her things to leave Black Hollow, she couldn't shake the feeling that something was following her. Shadows seemed darker than they should be, and whispers lingered at the edges of her hearing. Months later, Emma began to dream of the manor. In her dreams, she walked its halls again, hearing the whispers grow louder and more insistent. The shadows reached for her, their touch cold and unrelenting. And when she awoke, the whispers followed her into the waking world. Determined to find answers, Emma delved into the manor's history. Old newspaper clippings revealed a chilling past. A family had lived there decades ago, only to vanish without a trace. The final occupant, a reclusive scholar named Victor Harrow, had been obsessed with the occult. His journals, recovered by police, spoke of rituals to contact those who dwell beyond the veil. The journals ended abruptly with a single cryptic sentence. Asterisk, they are here and they are hungry. Emma knew she should stop, but she couldn't. The whispers wouldn't let her. They grew louder with each passing day, urging her to return to the manor. And one fateful night, unable to resist any longer, she did. This time, the manor's door didn't creak when she entered. Slammed shut behind her, sealing her fate. The whispers rose to a deafening roar, and the shadows engulfed her completely. The townspeople never saw Emma Vance again, but on misty nights some claimed to hear her voice among the whispers, calling out for help that would never come.